Hey guys, V. Rigoni, Max, high performance real estate entrepreneur. So today what we're going to be talking about is a concept that I had learned from one of my mentors. That's Don Pena. And this concept is pay price to action. That's right, pay price to action. And let's talk about that. But before we do that, subscribe to the channel. And if you like the content, make sure you smash the like button. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's just talk about the reality, right? The old saying, what's the gorilla in the room? And that is the football season just started. I get it. There's always some season, right? But, NFL football season started. College football's going on. And before you can say boo, you're going to start to see the basketball season start. And oh my God, I get it. There's some rabid fans out there. God bless them. Their whole life is about whatever their team is. Whether it's the Bears, the Green Bay Packers, the Cowboys, whatever the team is. Whatever your team is, there are some people they're painting their faces, they're painting their asses, whatever it takes to get out there and look like a freaking moron. Now, they love it. God bless them. It's up to them. But my question to you is that where you want to go? Does it just want to be about sports? Sports to the masses is to appease the masses. We've talked about this. Where do you think the gladiators came from? Where do you think the Roman emperors came out with the idea of let's build a Colosseum? Hey, and then let's kill a lot of shit inside that Colosseum, and then the people won't feel as bad about their lives during the week when they can go there on whatever day they picked to go see the games. That's what was going on. You think it's all that much different? It's just so much more sophisticated. I'm watching this thing today where ESPN and I think it's Charter, and they're talking about their bundle and all this crap.
A lot of people, they imagine
in other words,
entrepreneurship
ESPN's
as
getting
being
rich.
on a laptop at a beach working
Disney.
2-3 hours, and then they just
and
look
Charter,
at their bank
they're
account
getting
every day
rich.
and the money just
What
keeps
about
going
you?
up.
Are you getting rich off of sports? Now, if you're getting rich off of sports, then God bless you. That's what you're doing. Double down. But if sports is not putting money in your pocket, and I'm not talking about, doing the gambling and that kind of bullshit. I'm talking about you're in the industry, you're doing what you want to do, whatever it is, you're making a ton of money and you're smiling all the way to the bank, then keep it up. Now, how many people you think we're talking about there? A freaking handful. The rest of the people that are out there, they're the ones turning their money over for the bundle. Got to get the bundle because, you got to watch Alabama on Saturdays. Got to watch the Cowboys on Sundays. And I know I'm kind of dating myself, the Cowboys, right? So whether it's the Eagles, the Panthers, I don't give a shit. Now, maybe you're like, oh, he's a real jerk, right? He's dissing my team. I'm dissing all of them because they're all designed in order to keep you happy on a Sunday. So what do? You go back to work on a Monday and you can talk about the game. Fuck the game. We're talking about your life. We're talking about something that's going to make a difference in your life. So the question then becomes, what is your price to pay to action? What are you willing to give up? Because if you think you can get wealthy or rich or whatever the hell you want to talk about, or you can become financially free, and there's nothing you have to give up in order to achieve that goal, well, then you just keep doing exactly what you're doing yesterday. You do it today and you do it tomorrow because your life is not going to change at all. Now, you might say, man, this guy's freaking harsh. Well, yeah, because your old man wasn't willing to tell you this shit. He wasn't willing to tell you this shit. He didn't tell you, hey, I want to know how many people out there where their father said, shut the hell up. Your old man ever say that to you? Because life can be harsh. The truth is never easy. We all have our own truth, right? Now, you might say, well, truth doesn't change. Your truth is truth. But we have personal self-awareness. And how do we deal with that? Well, like I said, if you don't want to deal with it, then just keep doing what you're doing and you'll achieve the same thing. And if that is just a paycheck at the end of 2 weeks that gets dropped into your account so you can pay the gas bill and you can pay the light bill and you can pay the mortgage and you can pay the tuition and you can pay the student loan and all that crap, then God bless you. But if you're thinking you want to actually change shit up a little bit, you want to become the person that, you know you can be. And again, I'm not saying you got to become some alpha male or some alpha female or whatever the hell. You just have to do what's right for you in order to achieve the success you're looking to achieve. So now I'm talking to the people that really want to achieve some success. Because we just threw the rest of those people, all the other people, we just dissected this in half. In fact, we dissected this down to about 90%.
Cool.
That 90% of the people out there are not going to do a damn thing different. They're going to bitch. They're going to moan
information on
about the fluorescent lights in the office. That's what the new. That's what I'm seeing with the Z generation now. They're actually, they're actually on the internet talking about, oh my God, they expect me to go to an office. They expect me to sit there all day long. Who the hell whoever said that? This was supposed to be this way. Well, there's a couple questions. And then there's fluorescent lights. That's 90% of the people. They're either going to bitch and moan every single day of their lives, but they're not going to change a damn thing. So now we're down to the 10% of the people out there that are willing to try to make a difference, at least attempt to put their asses on the line to do something different, to treat people differently, to treat themselves differently, to expect different things from both themselves and the other people in order to achieve something different, something more. Otherwise, you're like the other 90%. So if you are in that 10%, let's get down to it. And that means that you're going to have to change some serious shit in your life. You're probably going to have to start with your friends. And I get it. You've had these friends since you were in 3rd grade. It's time to cut them loose, baby. Because out of the 5, what is the standard mantra today? Well, you are a conglomeration. You make up what your 5 based upon what your 5 friends are. Well, you said you want to change. That's why you're still listening to this. So you're going to have to make some changes. Now, do I mean you got to make enemies out of your friends? No. But maybe it's time to stop calling back all the time. Maybe it's time to start cutting that thing back. Really. Because, again, do something different. Now, you might say, so then I cut out my friends. Now what? Well, what about your family? What the hell's going on there? Do they support your dreams, your aspirations? Do they want you to become wealthy? They want you to become rich? Or do they just, financially free? Or do they just want you to get a job, stay in your job, and shut the fuck up? Because if that's what they want, then you're part of that 90%, if you're willing to go along with it. And remember, they're going to do it with all the love and caring possible because they know no other way, because they are part of that 90%. And when you're part of that 90%, you like the people in the 90%. Why? Because they all get to bitch and moan. And so if you want to do something different, you're going to have to start missing some parties. You're going to have to start missing some things that are going on in the family. Now, does that mean you're going to cut them loose and never see them? No, I'm not saying that your mother loves you, your father loves you. That doesn't mean they know what the hell's good for you anymore. It's time to start taking control of your life. Fit them into your life as they can be. You're not there. As you sit there and whatever you do, maybe you do auto mechanics with your dad from time to time. Am I telling you to stop doing that? No. But if you're doing it every Saturday and it's taking half the day, well, you better cut it back. You just got to start doing some things differently. You hear the continuous mantra of do some things differently. That's what you got to do. In my life, let me just talk a little bit about what happened in my life. Yes, I studied real estate. I did all this stuff that I knew. I knew about real estate when I was 15, 18 years old. I was watching Carlton Sheets, which very few people out there that are listening to this are going to even recognize the name. But he used to have this program on in the middle of the freaking night. He was one of the original, long format commercials on TV, talking about real estate and everything else. And I used to watch that over and over again. I used to read the books, all the books, how to become rich in real estate in the 90s, all these different books. That's right. I said the 90s. So I go back a little ways. But it all stays the same. But what happened to me when I got married? I fell asleep for about 6-7 years. Right? I got a house. It was going to be our first rental property. I fixed it up. Then I opened up a real estate office, and I focused on opening up a retail real estate office, which was okay, but it created no intrinsic value. It created an income, But real estate offices do not have much of an intrinsic value until I finally decided enough was enough. And then I started buying properties. But during that 5-6 years, I was watching football. I was doing what you are currently doing. All the shit I'm telling you not to do, I did it until I woke the fuck up. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Wake up. Once I woke up and said, oh, this is stupid, then I started buying more properties. I started working more. Why? Because there were no more just laying around on the sofa time. It was time to work. I was working 7 days a week. That's right, 7 freaking days a week. Now, some people say, well, life's too short for that. I don't know. I think life's too short to spend 40 to 50 freaking years working for the man so that hopefully you can retire and have a basic income to live off of for the next 20 until you fucking die. To me, life's way too short for that shit. So let's get real here. So you're going to work like you never worked before, right? But it's going to be on your shit. It's going to be on what you're doing. And there is a whole different world in your mind to work on stuff that is what you want to work on versus making somebody else rich, making your boss rich, making the other company, putting in that extra time. Totally different. And you could say, well, yeah, I could just work more overtime. But don't you get it? Don't be a freaking sucker. Now, in the beginning, when I talk about what are the things you have to do in order to start, yes, I talk about working overtime. I talk about more jobs. I talk about doing the stuff you need to pull the seed money together. But if you think you're going to live your life just by working more overtime, all you're going to do is pay more income taxes. And they're going to freaking love you. I remember one time walking into a little rental property. I had bought it for $40,000. It was a dump. And it had these hillbillies in it. And I mean hillbillies. And I walk in there on a Saturday, and there must have been 6 of them. And I'm there to fix something. And I say, hey, doesn't anybody work on a Saturday? And you know what the response was? It don't pay to work on Saturday. Now, on some level, they did figure that out, that they were going to make one overtime, but they were just going to pay a lot more taxes. But sitting on your ass watching TV at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday is not the response to that. Working on your own assets. When I'm talking about working those other 2-3 days a week for you, that's what you're doing. Because right now you have a job and you're not going to quit that job, but you still have time. You have after 4 o'clock or after 5 o'clock every day. You have Saturdays and Sundays or whatever your 2 days off are. You have the holiday weekends, and they got enough of those now to choke a horse. So you're going to spend that time working for you, creating and forcing the appreciation on assets that you've bought, that you're going to buy, because you have a plan now. You're going to create a plan, and it's going to help you to move forward. But if you're going to always have to go to Frank's house or John's house or Sarah's house to watch this or do that, it's not going to work. You're going to miss some freaking barbecues, baby. Do you get the idea? You're going to have to start to say no to friends and family on all the bullshit they want to do so you can start to say yes for your future. Yes to financial freedom. Yes to the legacy you're going to leave for your children's children. That is where this goes. So there is a price to pay for this. The price is your time. The price is saying no to people. The price is not going to the game, even if the tickets are free. Why? Because you got a tenant moving in on a Sunday, and you got to be there on the Saturday to get the place done, to make sure it's done so the tenant can move in. And if you do this right, you can buy the sky boxes at the game and go whenever you want after you've reached your financial freedom. Now, am I saying to you, never do anything that's fun? Always work. Well, number one, make work fun. Let me tell you, you want fun? Take an asset that you bought for $150,000 and turn it into $300,000. And I'll tell you, you'll figure out that that's fun. That's what you're going to realize. You're just going to change what you think is fun and not fun. Now, I'm not saying that from time to time you don't go to a football game, a baseball game, but let me tell you, if you're sitting there on that sofa every day, or if you're going to every game, but you're going to work 9 to 5 and you're living this side of paycheck to paycheck, then quit going to the freaking games. Quit sitting on the sofa and move forward. Pay the price. Very few people are willing to do it. And they say, oh, interest rates are now higher, so how am I going to get into real estate? It's going to be easier on some levels. Yes, when rates are so low and they're given, and you could buy the properties, have low payments, and everything's great, that's easy too. But when the interest rates go up and your competition is just eliminated, that gets easy too. You just have to search for deals in a different way. Every house is not a deal. You see, when interest rates are 2.5%, every freaking house can be a deal. Why? Because of cash flow. Now, we'll talk more about cash flow in another program, but my point is that the opportunities are always going to be there. And again, I'm not saying this economy versus another economy. I'm just talking about in general. There's always opportunities. If they're not in buying single-family homes today or small apartment buildings or large apartment buildings, maybe they're in another business. Maybe they're in buying plumbing businesses, buying electrical businesses, whatever. Buying restaurants. There's always an opportunity. Look and see where the economy is, where you're at right now. See where the economy is. What are your talents? What are your skills? And start to move in that direction. So if you're a plumber, do you think you might want to start to think about rolling up plumbing companies? Think out of the box. You're already a plumber. If you're a licensed plumber and you know what the hell you're doing, there are thousands and thousands of small plumbing companies across America today where the owners are baby boomers and they're hurting physically, and they're tired, and they're 65, 75, 76 years old, 78 years old, and they want out, and their kids are not in the business. So there's opportunities, because the moment you start to think out of the box a little bit, the moment you say, I want to change my life, what somebody else is going to come up to you and say, oh, you can't do that now. The economy sucks. Real estate sucks. This or that sucks. There's always going to be an excuse for not doing it now. That's why we've changed our basic slogan. Think big, start now, and grow fast. It was think big, start small, and grow fast. I don't give a shit where you start. You may not need to start small. You may be able to start bigger. But you need to start. You need to start to pay the price for the activity. And that might be missing a birthday party. Now, am I telling you to miss your kid's first year birthday party? No. But am I telling you that maybe one of your friends has got a birthday party and you can't do it? It's not a freaking movie. Whereas all this wonderful stuff's going to happen. All this crazy shit's going to happen if you go to this birthday party. No. Have you noticed most of them are pretty freaking boring? Anyways, now am I telling you you're supposed to miss your best friend's wedding? No, but you might be a little late because you had something you had to get done. You had a tenant moving in, tenant moving out, your plumbing business needed something, or your automotive business, or your electrical, whatever the hell it is, your small business that you're going to grow into a big business. And I will guarantee you they will respect the shit out of you for showing up late. Because you know what they're going to say? You know, he's got his stuff together. He's got his shit together. I'm going to work on Monday for the next year and the next 35 years after that. And this guy's building assets. This guy knows what's going on. Now, are they going to tell you that? No. But they're going to see it because that's what you're doing. Now, does that mean your spouse is always going to be happy with you? Absolutely not. Have you noticed if you don't work enough and you don't make enough money, are they happy? Or if you work too much and you're making plenty of money, are they happy? That's not your issue. Your issue is not there to make other people happy. They've got to be happy themselves. Your issue is to do what you need to do for you. Now, am I telling you to be a selfish jerk? No. But I am telling you that if you reach your financial freedom, then you get to bring everybody along with you on some level, especially your significant other, your spouse, your partner, whoever the hell it is. And your kids get the benefit. Now, does that mean you might miss some ball games? Yeah. Who the hell ever said that if your kids got 30 baseball games, you got to go to all 30 of those games? I come from a generation where my old man and most of the friends that I knew, their fathers didn't go to any games, or very few. So this idea that if you miss a game, you're a horrible parent is bullshit. How about you show them how to change their lives because you've changed your life and you're not signing up for all the other crap. That's what I'm talking about here. So it's time to think about what price are you willing to pay? If you're willing to pay, if you're willing to sacrifice the bullshit that you've been living with up to this point, then you have a chance. If you're not willing to sacrifice the bullshit, then you just keep going to the game. You keep sitting on the sofa. You just keep drinking the beer, and your life will stay exactly the same. And your parents will probably be just as happy for you that way as they are as if you reached your financial freedom. The only difference is if you reach your financial freedom, you might be able to retire them. There's this whole thing now where, you get to retire your spouse. I had never really freaking understood that. I never had a spouse that had to go to work. That's just me. I'm just a bit more traditional on that level. But now this idea is you reach your financial freedom so you could retire your spouse. You could retire your mom. Well, my mom didn't work either. Outside the house. She worked hard in the house, but she didn't have to work outside the house. So, but in any case, no matter what your beliefs are, no matter what your traditions are, if you can retire your wife, if you can retire your spouse, if you can retire your dad, how does that feel? How about some happiness there? Because it's just not about you. Don't make this just about you. So remember, what is your price? What price are you willing to pay? What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice some of the friends that you've had because all they want to do is get drunk and talk shit? Are you willing to sacrifice some of the birthday parties of the cousins and the aunts and the uncles or come late? Because something has to get sacrificed. Either your free time and then what you do in that free time. So why? You give up some of that free time. And I love they call it free. You don't think you paid for that time? Every day you go to work, Monday through Friday or whatever your 5 days is or 6 days is, you don't think you've paid for that time? Instead, pay yourself. Have the total control, because this is what happens when you do reach the financial freedom. Now, you get total control of your time. Now you get to live off your assets. And yes, things have to be managed. I talk about managed assets, right? There's this thing with passive income. I do believe in passive income, but in most cases, it's managed income. Because as you build up these assets, whether they be businesses, whether it be a chain of plumbing businesses or electrical business, electrical shops, whatever it is, electricians, whatever it is you're doing, or real estate, single family, multifamily, you're going to have managers. You're going to have management companies. You're going to have managers, and you're going to manage the managers. You might actually just have to put another layer of management in there so you don't have to manage each one of the managers. You just manage the manager who's managing all the other managers. Yeah, sounds like a pyramid. Well, that's what a corporation is. That's what building out and scaling is. It's creating your own pyramid, and you get to stand on top of that freaking pyramid. That's where the reality is. Now, it could be small, it can be big. In other words, you could be just, a couple of auto shops. It could be just a couple of laundromats. Whatever it is you're doing. It could be a half a dozen rental properties, or it could be 3 or 4. Whatever it is, you get to run the show. So you may never completely say to yourself, you may never go completely away from what you do for a living as far as your career. Oh, some people love their careers. Doctors, lawyers, not so much lawyers. Most of those people hate what they do after about 15 minutes of doing it. But doctors were typically, I'd say dentists, but most dentists hate their freaking jobs too after they spend 5 or 6 years looking inside thousands of people's mouths. But in any case, they get paid so much freaking money, they just keep going. But they can build a financial freedom. They can build a way in which to get out if they choose to get out. Or they can change the direction of their children's lives and their children's children's lives. That's what we're talking about here. So it's either about what you want to do today with your financial freedom or the legacy you want to create for your family. What your motivation is, what your why is up to you. What your motivation is, what your why is up to you. But you're going to need one. You're going to need to be motivated, but you're also going to have to do what? Pay the price for action. Pay price to action. That is the bottom line. So let's get out there. Let's think big. Let's start now and let's grow fast. V. Rigoni. Max, high performance real estate entrepreneur. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button because damn, if you're still listening to it, you must like it and leave a comment or two, good or bad. I don't care. Talk to you soon.